Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dirty in DZAN. My dude.
What up?
My brother. If you don't know, I'm going to give you a quick background here and how all of this transpired. I used to have another channel called MMA News and More. It was just a way for me to kind of vent, I guess, if you will, my issues. And also, I did a lot of picking fights over there to some decent success. It started out smoking hot, but cool off a little bit. I had to put things down on that channel for a while because I have another channel and I have a Patreon page dedicated to music, and it's called Metal Biker Dude Reacts, or it's the same thing on Patreon. And that's where I admit DZAN was on the YouTube channel ways back, and we ended up doing a song together called Ode to Tupac Shakur. And quite frankly, I think I can speak for DZAN as well, and he'll tell you himself. We're extremely proud of that venture that we did. Yep. We put a lot of time into it, and it was thoroughly enjoyable. We both admire Tupac Shakur greatly. I'm a metalhead that, I don't know, about 3 years ago, I started listening to rap and hip hop, and I quite frankly, I've been hooked ever since. And I hated rap. My daughter got me involved, and that's the story. Long story short, here we are. And this is the first episode. This is episode number 1. And we're going to talk about UFC stuff, but we're also going to talk about some other things, maybe some other sports. We're going to talk about music, but primarily the channel's going to revolve around UFC stuff and all things UFC related. Okay, DZAN, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your side of how we got together, and then we'll get into some really cool topics today.
Hell yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, so I started, first of all, I'm a rapper first.
Very good.
I started when I was very, very young, 12. I started writing when I was 12. Didn't start recording till I was 14, but I've been doing it for a long time. I do some freelancing work too. Been doing that off on the side, and YouTube here and there. I follow a lot of reaction channels, which is where I saw this guy. The first one I saw was Marshall Mathers LP. When it was still available on YouTube. And as soon as they took that shit down, I got on Patreon. And so that's where I first saw him. And I loved watching his first reactions because it got so I could see it again. You know what I mean? And it was fucking fantastic just to kind of watch his journey. And I remember when watching that episode in particular, and I didn't tell you this, Dirty, yet, but what you were talking about, how you're starting this journey, you've only done, I think, a couple, and you're talking about how your daughter got you into this, and you just want to kind of see where it goes and see how it goes. But I remember you saying this year, but I'm gonna keep it real, and if I don't think that the shit's good, I'm not gonna just blow smoke. I'm gonna tell you. And I've always enjoyed that, because watching reaction channels enough, you can see some where it might not be their first time reacting to something, or they may have seen clips, you know what I mean? And so they know certain spots to kind of,
there are a lot of them.
Yep. But long story short, when you see somebody genuinely reacting, you get clicked, right? You get kind of hooked on that. And he had posted that he had wanted to do something. He was listening to a Tech 9 song. Maybe I think I think I went back after we first talked about it. I went back, and I think it was on He's a Mental Giant. And you were talking about how you wanted to do something big, like metal-ish, rap-ish, and you just kind of had a thought, but not really. But hey, if any rappers are interested, let me know. I went typing right away. You know what I mean? And then you posted again a separate video of Rappers Wanted, and that's when you were serious, like, hey, I'm ready to do this. And I hit you up through everything, YouTube, Twitter, finally got you through Instagram, and we just kind of took off through there. It started with the demo of something completely different, right?
Stop bringing that up.
It's great.
No, here's what happened. The last time you said that, I had about 50 fucking PMs. I had like 50 fucking PMs of rappers hit me up. I'm like, oh my God, look what you started, man. Oh my God.
Oh
Anyway,
shit, really?
yeah. I never told you about that. Yeah.
Shit.
From
Well, here we are.
When we did the video for Ode to
Right.
Tupac. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were talking, we did a video where we were discussing, kind of the creative process
Side of it.
Yeah. And he had mentioned that same thing. And all of a sudden I just got blown up with rappers. And if you Instagram PM'd me, I apologize. I know I haven't got to you. But the reality is right now, I'm just not looking for anything else right now. I got enough on my plate. So
I was just going to say that there's enough shit right now. Right.
Yeah. So, all right.
But I mean, during that time, it was something that you had called on for, right? It was something that you needed at that time. And we linked up, we worked on something, and then it just turned into something much, much better, and we're like, this is what we want to do. And once we got onto that Tupac idea, then it was like the next 9 months or, you know what I mean? That is when we were focusing on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It took us about 1.5 years to do that.
Yeah.
To do that song. And it's not like, we did some grandiose, groundbreaking thing that's never happened in music before. But at the same time, we wanted to do it right. And we kept saying that to each other over and over and over. This has to be right.
Yep.
It has to be my voice. It has to be your voice. And it has to pay homage to Tupac Shakur in the best way possible. And DZAN absolutely destroyed that. I loved it.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move on. That's who we are. And
that's who we are.
I wanted to give you guys a quick background on that. Anyway, I'm going to bring something up that I'm sure DZAN has no clue of what I'm talking about. But I have to bring this up because it's kind of big news. And it's unprecedented in any sports, at any level, any league. It doesn't matter. So I believe it was Tuesday. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday. Tim Peel, who is was an NHL referee. And basically he got fired without them firing him. His last game was scheduled in, I believe, late April to officiate. But they were playing, Nashville was playing Detroit. And this is last Thursday or Friday, something like that. Anyway, he was caught, his microphone was on, and he got caught saying that he wanted to give Nashville a penalty, as in his words, I had to give fucking Nashville a penalty right away. And then the mic kind of cuts out. You don't really understand exactly what he's saying after that. But basically, the thing is, it was a makeup call. And it was a makeup call that he said openly on a microphone. And we know this happens. And if you don't know, if you're not aware, I played hockey for 11 years. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, even DZAN didn't know that. And I've posted pictures up before in videos once in a while of me playing hockey or whatever, posing. But so we know this happens, but it doesn't just happen in hockey. It happens in football. It happens in basketball. It happens in every sport. What happens is a referee makes a bad call or he misses a call and then he decides he's going to make it up. And that's what Tim Peel did. And it's not right.
No.
If a penalty is a penalty, it's a penalty. If it's not a penalty, it's a penalty. I don't care if there's 30 seconds left in the game and the game's tied and you don't want to make that call. Too fucking bad. Do your fucking job.
Exactly.
And now you're paying the price for it, Tim Peel. And that's yeah. So pretty heavy duty stuff. It was a shot across the bow from the league to the officials, as well as to the fans and the players. But I also think It's something that needs to be looked at internally in all sports. No more
Yeah,
makeup
no
calls.
shit. Yeah.
If it's a penalty, it's a penalty. If it's not, it's not. Don't call a penalty if you don't see one.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
See, and then on the flip side of that, when you get into football too, the penalties on that, what we know some egregious calls, and you're like, that there's no fucking flag. There's no way there should have been a fucking flag there. And then the refs realize it afterwards. Oh, but it's too late. What do we do there? You know what I mean? There's no going back there,
So you do a makeup call.
Yeah.
If you missed ridiculous. That's fucked up, but you missed it.
Yep.
And hey, how many times have we seen Tom Brady get tackled on the thigh?
Yep.
And he gets there's a flag at his feet by the end of the play.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. Tom Brady, the GOAT, no question. I love Tom Brady. And I'm very appreciative of the fact that I got to watch Michael Jordan in his prime. I'm old enough for that. And I'm not a basketball fan, but back then I was a huge Jordan fan. This might surprise you. My second oldest son is named Jordan Michael.
Oh, wow.
I kid you not. Yeah.
Wow.
I was that big of a fan of Michael Jordan. So I got to see Michael Jordan play. I got to see Wayne Gretzky play in his heyday.
Yeah.
And we're all getting to watch Tom Brady play, because what's going to happen is your grandkids are going to ask you, who was Tom Brady? Was he really that good? Oh, yes, son. Oh, yes, he was. But I digress. The fact of the matter is that the guy gets penalties that he shouldn't be getting.
Right.
And then you take somebody like Ben Roethlisberger or Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson,
Russell Wilson, who gets tackled hard as shit.
And I don't want to make this about race or anything, but we just rattled off 4 and 3 of them are black.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't get these calls, man.
Yeah.
They don't
you're
get
right.
these calls. Ben doesn't get them because he's so big. Lamar doesn't get them because he's too fast. Deshaun Watson doesn't get him because he's too shifty. Russell Wilson is everything and then
scrambler, right? So like, oh, scrambler, he's a scrambler, and that's their excuse for that. No, fuck that.
No, if it's a penalty, it's a penalty.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. Completely agree. Completely. But yeah, I see where they're passing the buck. They're not taking that responsibility on. Let's do a makeup call. You know what I mean? And we're not going to absorb the responsibility from our fuck up. We're just going to make it up. It'll all work out in the wash. Yeah. It'll all be fine.
Exactly. Oh, hey, real quick, you guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel. We want to have fun with it. And this is more of a hobby for us, but we would appreciate it if you did that. So let's, why don't you take the lead on this one here, DZAN? And we'll talk about this. There's a lot to unpack here. Dana White, Khabib, videos that are old and
officially retired. Is he?
Yeah. You go, man.
29-0.
This thing's got giving me headaches.
So we all know, as if you are an MMA fan that's not what you would call a casual, right? You know Khabib retired when he beat Gagey
or whatever.
It was September of last year.
Okay.
October, November, one of those 3 months. He retired. He was done. Put it down in the octagon. And Dana White clung, no. I'm going to talk to him. We're going to sit down. We're going to have a conversation. Let me ask you a
question.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard Dana White say the following? If the R word ever enters your mouth, then you should do it.
Yep. Absolutely. 100. He says it about everyone. He says it about all of them. He's just said it about Tyron Woodley, his last 2 fights. He said it, and Tyron Woodley never uttered it, but he said maybe it's time he should. It's a pick and choose thing with him. And I can play devil's advocate for a second. And I can see where, if you're in Dana's shoes, not only money, right? But if you're looking at a guy like Khabib and you're thinking, you're too emotional right now. You have the skills to continue on to get title defense after defense after defense. You can clear 2 generations like a Jones. You can have the defenses like a GSP. That's what Dana saw for him, because he knows that could be what could happen from Khabib. And Khabib is like, no, yeah, I see the stress that this did on my parents. I lost my dad. I'm not going to do that shit to my mom, and knowing who he is as a family man, right? And as a man of his word, if he told his mom he's not going to fight again, he's not going to fucking do it. He doesn't need money, first of all. And even if he didn't have it, he still wouldn't need it. The man drives a pickup truck. The man still lives a very humble life,
It's Dagestan. The
yes.
guy still lives in Dagestan.
Yep.
He is, a dollar goes a long way in Dagestan, man.
Yep.
Can you imagine what 50 million or whatever it is that he has in his bank account? Can you imagine what that's going to do for his life? He doesn't need more money.
Yep. But think Dana White. No, we have a Conor rematch. We have possibly Chandler if he keeps winning, because that's the fight that you've never had. We have Oliveira if his name gets up a little bit there. Maybe we put him with Gagey or Poirier and get his name up just a little bit more. All of those things running through Dana's mind, all the what ifs, and it wasn't going to happen. And he kept trying to make it happen over and over. And I want to talk about the new title fight for the vacant title, and who's fighting for that in a little bit. But
this is a nightmare in itself.
Fucking nightmare. Absolute nightmare. But yeah, and now officially retired 29-0. We get this video that comes out. We get this video, and it looks like he's talking about, my next fight could be Conor, could be GSP, right? And
truth be told, I sent this link to DZAN, and somebody had sent it to me, and it was on Instagram, right? It was on Instagram. Yeah. And it was a video, but it wasn't presented as it were an old video. It was presented, it had only been posted like 11 hours or something like that when we had viewed it. And I had sent it to DZAN within 2 minutes of me getting it. And I'm like, wow, he's talking about Conor like Conor's a normal guy. Like he doesn't hate him.
Nonchalant.
And I'm like, this is really strange. And DZAN called it first, though. He's like, that doesn't look new. There's something off about this. And I said, yeah, I know. I agree with him. I said,
it almost seemed like he was in camp. You know what I mean? His face sunken in.
It was strange looking at him physically. He looked younger. The video looked old.
Yeah.
The quality, it wasn't quite there. The resolution. And the fact that he was talking about GSP when GSP has already come out several times and said he's not going to fight Khabib because he can't get to 155. And we all know Khabib's not going to go to 170, which I think that's another story in itself. But okay, let me say something about Khabib. I think Khabib is arguably the greatest 155er ever. It's not really that arguable.
Yeah. At this point, yeah.
Right. However, and I know I'm probably going to get pushback on this, and maybe from you, DZAN. Personally, I get bored watching him fight. It's boring.
100% agree.
Okay. Thank you. Because
100%.
Yes, he connected on Conor. And yes, he connected a few times on Dustin. But I like watching action, man. And I like striking. And it's not that I have a true appreciation for grappling. And I understand that's an art form in itself, just like music,
Yeah.
It's
100%.
an art. But as the end user, as the guy that has to put up the $65 to pay for the fight, I have always hesitated buying a fight when Khabib is the headliner.
Yep.
Because I know how it's going to go.
Yep.
So
Story's been told.
That's a serious just nothing but respect for Khabib when I say that. But at the same time, B, I also know it's going to be a boring fight.
Yeah.
There's not going to be much striking. It's going to be, he's going to get you up against the fence. He's going to grind you out. He's going to eventually get you down and wear you out. Round 2, same thing. Lather, rinse, repeat. And it's the same thing every fight. Conor won 1 round in their fight. Other than that, Khabib has never lost a round. And I just don't enjoy watching him.
I don't either. My brother, that Khabib is his all-time favorite, 100% GOAT status. I don't see Khabib as a GOAT. John Jones is the GOAT in my head. Always will be. And
I have GSP, but
okay.
But
and
John
and
Jones,
GSP is top 3 for me. GSP's right under John. GSP's right under John. Mighty Mouse is third, when you think of the GOATs and what they've accomplished, what they've been able to do.
The only thing about Mighty Mouse is the competition level. That's the only
I could see that. Yeah. The shit that he does in that octagon,
mind-boggling, man.
Flying armbar, not 1 but 2 fighters. Come on.
He was Anthony Showtime Pettis, but he won.
Yes, he was. Oh man, so disappointed to be on the Wheaties box and then lose like 2 or 3 in a row. But I never liked watching Khabib fight. I've always respected him again. And I love watching grappling. I love watching jujitsu. I've watched jujitsu competitions. I love watching the art of the chess match on the ground, but there's a difference between a chess match and grinding,
Yes.
Besides the Dagestani, leg cuff, you know what I mean? Beautiful techniques when he grabs around the body.
The way you said that, that's very, very well said. There is like this, there's a difference between I love watching Charles Oliveira, and we got to talk about him, man. I mean, that guy's the X factor in all of this, in my opinion.
Yes, he is.
I'm not sure. I'm not sold on Chandler just yet. I know what he did.
I'm not either. I'm so not.
I need to see some more because trust me, I watched the Bellator. I have YouTube TV, and you can.
I've seen his last couple fights. I saw his last couple in Bellator.
Honestly, they weren't that impressive.
When you watch him with Eddie, it's a little weird. It's a little weird seeing the kind of competition that Eddie had to face in the UFC. And it was later in his career.
Yep. So, but there's a difference between watching, say, Charles Oliveira versus
Ferguson, that's going to be coming up.
Beautiful.
Or that happened. That just happened. Sorry.
But that's a perfect example. That is guys that are really good on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, we know Tony can bludgeon you. I know he's struggled a lot lately, but he can bludgeon you from the bottom.
Yeah.
Charles Oliveira is so crafty with his BJJ. Sambo, Khabib style, I don't know if I would say it was to that level of art.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's not as beautiful to watch.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of like the difference between watching, dancers that, that are doing ballet and mixing that with like a waltz or something like that. Very, very artistic versus disco dancing back in the 70s.
Right.
If you could just kind of move your hips back and forth in the 70s and point your finger to the moon. Right.
There's almost a blueprint for that in a way that in BJJ, you got to figure it out. You got to figure those steps out. Are your hips above theirs? Is my knee in the right place? Can I get a lockdown while I'm on bottom? Those kind of things I love to watch. But when you look at like the kind of sambo wrestling that Khabib has been known for, like I said, the Dagestani leg cuff, when he wraps around their body and grabs their wrist to control them down, and he makes sure that his body weight is always above their shoulders, so they're constantly carrying him. Those things, yes, beautiful, skillful, yes, but it's that And those are the 3 steps done over a 5-minute period.
Right.
When in BJJ, it's you're moving around. Oh, he just got out of this. Oh, now the arm's free.
Guillotines.
There's so many more opportunities,
Darce
right?
chokes. Right.
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 So many more opportunities for something explosive to happen.
Maybe that's it, DZAN, because how many Darce chokes does Tony Ferguson have?
Right. 4.
I've never seen
3
anybody in Sambo do anything resembling a Darce choke.
Right.
Leg locks.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You watch some of these, the Chael Sonnen, what's his league thing?
The Submission Underground. Submission Underground.
SUG.
Yeah.
You watch some of these things. I mean, some of these guys are just incredible on the ground. And and it's fun to watch them. So the point of all of this is it's not just that I'm a striker prude. Okay. It's just the level of excitement watching a fight where it's BJJ versus an American wrestler or BJJ versus a striker. Those are the combinations that just make for a great fight.
Yes.
When you put Conor McGregor in there against Khabib, we know how it's going to go. A, Conor's gas tank is short. B, because of his gas tank, he's not going to be as effective in the 3rd round with his striking. So we know how that movie ends. When he fights Justin Gaethje, we know how that movie ends. But it's not just that we know how it ends. It's almost painstaking to get to that point.
Yes. Yeah.
Watching it. And that's all I'm trying to say.
There's been those moments, right, when Dustin Poirier almost got that wild guillotine on him, and then we were all, oh my God, he's in trouble. Nope, never mind. He's a fucking robot. He got out of it. And 30 seconds later, when we were all thinking, I think he just burned out his arms trying that, then he gets choked out, And then in the other fight with Gaethje, something beautiful was happening with the leg kicks. Oh my God, those are hurting Khabib. If you saw the way it stuttered him when he hit him on his left leg, that last time before he nailed the takedown.
Right.
And when he nails the takedown, then we all, you know what I mean?
Here we go again.
That's it. Here we go. It's over.
It's a wrap.
Okay. That makes sense. And then to hear that he,
with his parents, I know what you're going to say. His parents
took mercy. Yes, his parents are there. I'm not going to break this man's arm in front of his parents because I know he's not going to tap. So I'll put him to sleep.
Right.
It's insane when you're thinking about everything that's going on in your head at that moment.
And that's what his concern was.
Yes.
Which does point out the fact that he's a good dude.
Oh yeah, 100%, 1000%.
Yeah. Truth be told, when it comes to the whole Khabib and Conor thing, they both make points. And the reason I say that is because Conor's an asshole. Okay. He can be a real asshole. And he likes to live large. And that can be fun to watch at times. And sometimes it can get really annoying. Whereas with the Khabib, some of the things that were done in the backdrop that a lot of people are not familiar with. So if you've seen the video where Khabib and his team surround, what's his name?
Artem Lobov.
Artem Lobov.
The GOAT. Come on, man. The GOAT. Put some respect.
GOAT. How did I forget the GOAT? But they surrounded him. Well, the reason that Artem was so scared, it wasn't because they were surrounding him. 2 months prior to that, and this is a story a lot of people are not aware of, there was a friend of Artem that lived in Russia that got beat to within an inch of his life with baseball bats and chains. And these are all friends of Khabib. And this was all caught on camera. So it's not as he said, she said. It was on camera. This guy is bludgeoned. His face is this big. He can't see out of his eyes. He's got gashes all over his face.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, it was nasty. And it were Khabib's people, man. So to say he's a good dude, and that Conor doesn't have anything to be upset by is a bit of a misnomer.
Yeah.
There's some definite history here. You know,
Yeah.
when Connor went stupid and did his stupid shit on the bus and all of that stuff, you know, send me location and that whole
Yeah. Yeah.
funny business.
Took a shite on the
There
bus.
was,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
there was some reasoning behind that.
Yeah.
And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But
And I'll preface that with, I am a diehard Connor fan. I've
I'm a big fan of watching him fight.
love Conor McGregor. I've always been in and out of watching UFC when I was younger because of Chuck Liddell's and the Randy Couture's and the Tito Ortiz's
Randy.
And Frank Shamrock back in his prime. And it's so upsetting that they don't talk about him anymore. But
it is.
It's so upsetting because of how that whole thing ended with the whole family. You know what I mean? But yeah.
I mean, you go back to the beginning though, Chemo and Ken Shamrock and you know and all of these OGs, man.
The Lions Den being the first mixed martial arts.
The shit, man.
Yeah, that's when they were like, we got boxers, we got a BJJ guy, we got it all. You know what I mean? There weren't places doing that. There weren't places doing that. You know,
you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah,
and I agree with you. We don't pay enough homage to some of these OGs, man.
But as I was growing,
DZAN, I'll tell you, I'm the first one to give props to my OGs. On my Patreon channel, I talk about my OGs all the time because they deserve that respect, man.
Exactly. Yep.
Frank Shamrock deserves that level of respect. Randy Couture, people don't understand how good he was, man.
Yeah.
He
started in his 30s.
That's
still won championship into his 40s and defended in his 40s.
What, 3 times?
Twice, I think, but you cannot deny.
Didn't he? I think he lost it and then got it back though. And defended.
Oh, you're right. And then defended it. You're right. Yeah. So it was 3.
Yeah.
It was 3 title wins in his 40s. The man
was
fucking great. Yes. The man was a fucking great man.
It's hard to hang on to a belt at heavyweight.
Yeah.
Which is, you know what? That's a perfect segue. Let's get into 260.
Yes. Let's get into 260. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Full disclosure. When I did my picks, the last fight on this card, on the main card, we're going to pick all of the fights on the main card. But I'm going to pick one in the prelims because I did not realize that they had switched those fights. We lost a title fight, by the way. That's very unfortunate, but we have a lot to talk about here. So it's probably about time we do transition. So let me get my pick out of the way that I originally picked, which was supposed to have been the first card on the prelims, which was supposed to have been William Knight and Alonzo Menifield. And I don't know what you know about either one of these guys, but
I know Sharant, and I like Sharant. I said I know Sharant, and I like Sharant.
Okay. Well, William Knight is no brainer in this one for me.
Yep.
It's a pick 'em fight. If there's money to be made, and that's why we make these picks, right? If there's money to be made, it's on this fight, in my opinion, because I think this is the easiest fight to pick, and it's a pick 'em fight. So it's dollar for dollar, whatever you're betting. So, William Knight. This is an easy one for me. But I'm picking that one now because that was originally supposed to be on the main card.
Wait, and was it Knight that had to drop out? Is it Menifield fighting Sharant? Or am I wrong?
Oh shit. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
they took it off. Oh,
I'm pretty sure. I'm almost certain. I can look it up real quick, but I'm almost certain that it's Menifield that is fighting Sharant. And that's why I'm thinking Sharant might actually take it. But let me see.
Change.
You know what? Yeah, it does. It's showing light heavyweight Alonzo Menifield versus Fabio Sharant.
Okay.
So that's going to be the premier prelim fight. And I don't know, man. I saw him on Dana White's Contender Series, which it's hard to judge off of that, right?
Yeah.
But go back and see what he can do as well. He's great. He's going to be great. I think it's going to be a good fight, and I think Sharant's going to get it.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on that.
But I do agree. If it was different and Knight was in there, Knight would get it. Absolutely. He would get it.
That's a
Green
shame.
for that.
That's a shame because that was the easiest one to make money on.
Yeah.
The rest of these fights, they're going to be a little tough, man. In my opinion.
Hit me with your first one. We got the main card.
Well, the first on the main card, what I have pulled up right now is it's Malarkey and Karma Worthy.
Yeah.
Listen, Karma is getting pretty long in the tooth, in my opinion. And Jamie Malarkey he's an up and comer. He does need a little bit more experience, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm going to pick Karma Worthy. I could see this fight going either way. What do we got here? Yeah, Kama's a slight favorite. So it's about a pick 'em fight, just about. But as long in the tooth as he is getting, this is a main card fight. You know, how many times have we seen somebody do so well on the prelims, and then you put them in the main card and they just turn to shit. Look what happened to Kevin Holland last week. You know, I love Kevin Holland. So exciting, and he's great for the UFC. But
I was so excited for that fight.
Yeah,
very
I was
frustrating.
too.
One of the most frustrating fights I've ever watched.
And I picked him. I
picked me too.
Kevin Holland.
Me too. I thought he was going to knock him out in round one.
Hook, line, and sinker. But to me, I don't know about you, it looked to me like the stage got him.
And I almost think Dana was right when he said he thought he had a mental breakdown in there. You know what I mean? And he just shut down and he just went to comedy because he didn't know what else to do. Exactly. And I completely agree. It was a very weird showing.
Nervous energy.
But go ahead. Sorry.
I got Kama Worthy in that one. So what say you here?
I agree 100%. I think that Jamie's a little too green for it, and I think that the lights might be a little bit too much pressure now that he's got that main card slot, and not only main card slot, but when you listen to people like Dominic Cruz and those who say that premier prelim or that first fight on that main card, most people are tuning into that fight. It gets into a lot of fighters' heads, and I think that Kama Worthy is vet enough to know where this guy's areas of weakness are, and I think that it's not going to be a quick one. Maybe it's going to be a decision worthy, but I think Worthy's going to take care of business. I think
I could see that. Now next fight, I haven't even looked into this because I didn't know this fight was going to be on the main card. So they switched Jillian Robertson and Miranda Maverick. Yep. Why don't you take the lead on this one so I can do a little fishing?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So Jillian Robertson, I've been watching her since she started with the UFC. I love her and her red hair. I've been following her. I'm one of her fans. She's gonna have a tough time with Miranda. She's gonna have a tough time because Miranda's gonna come out hard. She's gonna come out in that first round hard. And I think I can see Jillian winning it. I can see Jillian winning this. But this is probably the one fight out of all the fights here on this card that I'm probably the most unsure about, because I know Miranda's style is a little, it's rush, but it's also technical. So I think that if Jillian can weather the storm, she can win, and maybe by submission. That's what I see happening. Jillian by submission.
All right. First of all, I have to point out that Miranda has a smoking fucking body. So I pulled up her stats, their stats actually.
Yeah.
Grappling, 0 takedowns for Miranda, and 2.64. This is per 15 minutes. So once a fight, she's getting 2.64 takedowns. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Takedown accuracy, 46%. They don't even have anything for Miranda's takedown accuracy. So there's basically a 0 in there. Submission average, 0.94 for Jillian, and obviously 0 for Miranda. Significant strikes. This is where it gets a little dicey because landed per minute, Miranda's 9.8.
This is what I'm afraid about.
That's a lot of striking.
This is what I'm afraid about.
Yeah. And then 2.05 for Jillian. Significant strikes are identical in percentage, 51% absorbed per minute, though. But this is par for the course.
Yep.
Because landed per minute is 2.05 for Jillian, but absorbed per minute is 2.1. Yep. Why is that significant? Because they're almost identical. So for every time Jillian's punching, she's getting punched.
Yep.
Whereas with Miranda, her landed per minute is, we'll call it 10, and her absorbed is 6. So she's delivering 4 more blows for every 10
than she's receiving. Yep.
Right. And then her defense is 62%, whereas Jillian's is 51%. I am very familiar with Jillian.
Yep.
I am not terribly familiar with Miranda. And by the way, I agree with you about her hair. There's that Canadian chick. She's always got red hair too. I forget her name. Yeah, you know what? Just to go against you to make this interesting, I'm going to go ahead and pick Miranda, and I'm going to
not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go second round knockout.
All right. Yeah, and I can definitely see that too. Jillian likes to fill them out. Let's see where my counters can be, and let's see where I can get a takedown. So we'll see if she can get through that first round. I can see Jillian getting it, but let's see. We'll see. All right, on to this is a fun one, Dirty.
Yeah,
this is a fucking fun one.
Okay,
please.
Before we get into this, can we please talk about this fucking undefeated record of Sugar Sean O'Malley?
Okay, please, you start. You please start.
My God, man, shut the fuck up, dude. Shut the fuck up. You lost. Stop saying that. Nobody's buying it except for your fucking thirsty ass friends on YouTube and Instagram. They're the only ones buying it, and that's because they love you. And I get it. He's Connor 2.0. I get the whole shtick, okay? But I have signed gloves from him, by the way.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah.
No shit.
I kid you not. Yeah. I'll find them and I'll pull them up.
Yeah, that's dope.
Next week I'll show you those.
Okay, that's dope.
So I'm a fan of the guy.
Yeah.
But just shut the fuck up. You keep trying to put this narrative out there you didn't lose. He just did an interview again the other day with Ariel.
Yep.
And
cringy.
Oh my, it was so cringy. Oh my, cringy as fuck. Yeah, just shut the fuck up, Sean.
Yeah, he lost, but not due to lack of skill. What
does that mean?
What the fuck does that mean?
Everybody. That's everybody's loss.
Did he accidentally hit your nerve? Did he accidentally kick you? I don't think that was an accident. I think he meant to.
No.
And he
I
took
don't care
advantage.
if he did it accidentally. Anyway, you still lost.
You're in a fight. Yeah, it's the most ridiculous thing. I was on the Sugar show. I was on the Sugar train up until that very point. Me and my brother both. I don't usually agree with my brother because I feel like he's a filthy casual. But I agreed with him on that, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, this dude, he's great. He's great. The way he's knocking these people out, it's amazing." And then that happened with Cheeto Vera, and I was like, "Oh no, please don't, please don't, please don't."
I'll tell you where he lost me. This is where he lost me. I think it was the Eddie Wineland fight.
Yeah.
And Cody Garbrandt fought that same night. And you remember Cody Garbrandt had that uppercut, and it was the fight of the night, A. And then B, it was nominated for fight of the year. I don't know if it ended up winning or not. Sean's was not fight of the night. Not that many people were talking about it.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't nominated. His knockout was
of
not
the year,
nominated.
Yep.
But he's still on this thing about how he did a separate video explaining why his knockout was so much better than Cody's. And,
with his fucking head coach of a yes man. Yeah.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on that redheaded.
They're BFFs, by the way. Went to school together.
They're more than BFFs, man.
Come on.
Yeah, come on, man. There's something goofy going on there. But I digress. No, man, that's when he lost me. When he started that shit, and then he follows it up with the stuff you were talking about. I'm out, man. I'm out.
Yep. When he put humbled, I was like, I like it.
I bought it.
I like it. I like it too. And then he's like, and people can shut the fuck up about that humble post. I'm not humble, so whatever.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh fuck, no. And me and my brother both like.
I'm glad you
fuck
brought that up because that actually brought me back into the fold. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. He gets it.
I was like, okay, maybe
Finally
he
he's growing
understands.
up.
Somebody's talking to him.
Right. We'll give him a little time to grow up, mature a little bit. No, he didn't.
Nope.
So I guess
who do you got?
Okay, well, it kind of pains me, but I mean, Thomas Almeida is on a 3-fight losing streak.
Yep.
B, we know what the UFC does with people like Conor McGregor and Sugar Sean O'Malley and John Jones. And it's not to take anything away from them. They earn their spots. I get it. I get why the UFC does it. But the fact of the matter is this is a setup fight. 100%.
Yep.
This is a fight to showcase Sugar Sean O'Malley, to pump him up again one last time. But I'm telling you this, I know Dana well enough. I know Sean Shelby well enough to know that you can only fuck with them so many times and they're going to start biting back.
Yep.
So he better do this correctly. But yeah, I got Sugar Sean O'Malley and Thomas Almeida. He's a tough motherfucker.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he's not going down in the first round. I don't think so. I'm gonna go second round knockout. Now, truth be told, you guys, we're not normally picking these. And so when you hear me say that, the only time we're going to count these as predictions is in the main events. Or actually, why don't we do title fights?
Yeah.
Any title fight will call the round and the method in which they lost. Or won. So I'm going to go, but so it doesn't count that I'm saying this right now. It just, I'm picking Sugar Sean O'Malley, end of story. But I do believe it'll be a second round knockout.
I agree 100% with that as well. I think that Thomas is good, but he's not Sean good anymore.
No.
And I think that Sean is going to hurt him, and I think he's going to hurt him bad. He's going to do some crazy shit. He's going to be trying some crazy shit. I think that he might get him with the spinning body kick or something early, and it might be over like that. But I think we're going to see a fantastic knockout on Saturday from Sean O'Malley. That's what I'm predicting.
I do want to add one caveat. I think the best thing that could ever happen to Sugar Sean O'Malley is to get murked in the first 10 seconds of this fight. I think that could be the best thing that ever happened to him.
Let's see if it actually humbles him.
Because he's
not
going to have a choice. Because if you lose 2 in a row and you keep claiming you're undefeated, you're going to lose everybody, including your thirsty fans right now.
Yep.
You're going to lose them all. So I think that it would be the best thing to happen to him is just to get absolutely murked.
Yep.
And and we know what he's going to do. Well, I got caught. Well, yeah, you did. And you lost. So good luck. But anyway, okay. I'm looking forward to this fight.
This is a good fight.
I tell you why I'm looking forward to it. I've always liked T Wood, but he gets to be a bit much sometimes. Yes. And quite frankly,
are you falling in and out of love with Tyrone? Are you falling
in and out of love? Falling in and out of love with you. Okay. I should put that in the video.
So sorry. I had to. That'll be, you know what? That'll be the intro, and then you'll just cut, and then we'll just start it.
There you go. All right. But listen, man, he's not doing well. Yeah. And he's not fighting hungry at all. Vicente Luque is somebody that everybody in the world seems to overlook. And for the life of me, I don't know why, because his body kicks are unmatched.
He's
a nasty fucking kicker.
Yep.
T Wood's going down. I'm going to tell you right now, T Wood's going to lose this fight. And I think he's going to do it in grandiose fashion. I could see this being absolutely nasty. And, Listen, Tyron Woodley is the number 7 fighter in the UFC welterweight division. He was a champion for a long time.
Yeah.
What,
Yep.
4 or 5 fights?
Yep. 5. I think he had 5 defenses.
5? Yeah. And he's number 7. And we're talking, what, 2-3 years later at the most?
Yep.
When have you ever seen that before? Doesn't happen often.
BJ
You'll
Penn.
see somebody be
BJ
champion.
Penn, I think, was the last one.
Well, yeah, but how long was BJ, around? I mean, Woodley, he didn't really start peaking until what, 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, yeah,
at best.
yeah.
BJ was around 20 years.
You're right. Yeah. You're right.
So, matter of fact, I hate comparing anybody to BJ.
Yeah, I really wish that people would understand how great he was, and I know that the recent shit over the last 5 years, even with BJ, it's bad and it's put a really big damper on his legend. But it really doesn't discredit what he did in the past. Multiple divisions.
Anybody that knows, and he could have went. Matter of fact, he fought at heavyweight. Didn't he?
He did fight at heavyweight.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
Come on, dude.
The guy fought at 145 and at heavyweight.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, BJ Penn's a fucking killer, man. All right. Anyways, I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Luque Woodley. Go ahead. You see Luque winning, right?
I got Luque winning. I'm not going to say when.
But that's good.
I could easily see a head kick knockout or just an accumulation. Oh, my rib.
Yep. Oh, God, yeah.
If you remember,
shit.
So if who did that?
I almost forgot about that. That was Covington.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, Colby Covington. No,
and that was the worst thing. And I wanted Covington to lose so fucking bad.
Who
and
doesn't?
when you hear him go, my rib, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
And then you don't really see how it happened, but I mean, shit, man, that was the worst.
Everybody in the world hates Colby Covington. I think his own family hates him, but I got to give credit where credit's due. The dude can fight. He can fight. And if you remember, he is the only one that put anything on Kamaru Usman. And he took Kamaru Usman to deep waters. And I did not think he had that in him. And I'll never forget that fight, man. That was a close fight up until the end. Boy, oh boy. Yeah. Anyway.
So I see something different. I see something different happening.
Let's hear you.
I see Tyron.
I'm glad to hear that.
I see Woodley thinking this is it. And he hasn't said this. And this is the kind of part that is a little frustrating because he keeps talking about, oh, people want me to fail. People want to see me do this. People want to see me do that. But he's doing it. He's actively doing it. And I can see him in his head. He's smart enough to know this is it. And back when he was a champion and the way he put out Darren Till and got his black belt that night, from that Darce or Anaconda, I think it was a Darce choke. But I thought that he was second best to GSP in that division. I really, really did at that part.
I
you know what I mean?
You can argue that too much.
Yeah. The way he was handling people. And when he fought Usman, I thought this is going to be a tough fight. It's going to be a tough fight, but I think Tyron has what it takes and the strength that he's going to maybe either knock him out in the 5th round on the ground and pound, or he's going to get the nod 5 rounds. And it was an utter domination. I haven't seen a more dominating fight than Holloway Ortega or Holloway and Cater. Yeah, Holloway Cater and Holloway. Yeah, Holloway and Cater number 1, Holloway Ortega number 2. I mean, the dominance in that fight, it shocked me. My mouth was to the floor. Woodley, what the fuck? And then it happened again. And I think that this is it. And I think he knows it. And I think he's going to come in smarter. And I think he's going to come in with a lot of tactics. And I think he understands what Vicente brings and the kind of shit, the kind of tools that he has. And with his wrestling and with his power, I feel like he is going to get a very late stoppage. That's what I see. I'm seeing a very late stoppage or a 5-round win, and I'm hoping it's Tyron Woodley. That's what I see. Tyron Woodley.
I think you're out of your mind.
I might, and I fucking might, and it might just be because I want it more than I actually see it happening.
Right.
But I'm going with it nonetheless. We're going Tyron Woodley.
Yeah. Um, I completely get where you're coming from. And logically, that does make a lot of sense because the reality is he is going to be cut if he loses this fight. He's going to be cut 100%.
With the amount that Dana doesn't like him, it doesn't matter. These are the former
and
champion.
Tyron burned a lot of bridges. Yeah. And Tyron burned a lot of bridges, especially with Dana and Sean Shelby and Joe Silva. I don't believe he's there anymore, but
but he's been doing it, and he has his outside shit. He's getting into the weed business now. He has his music shit. So I know there's a lot of shit that he has
going
on the
around
side.
though that he is not doing well financially.
Oh wow, really? I didn't hear about that. I'd see. Last I heard is that he's jumping into business with a rapper.
And here's the thing, though. Apparently, like the Falling In Out of Love it with You video, and then there was another one. Apparently, he financed 100% of it, and he lost a fortune on those videos alone.
He was probably thinking that the viralness of it was going to be paying off,
but he didn't understand he was being mocked.
Yeah, no shit.
He wasn't computing that part. I think he thought, well, it's viral. They're going to want to watch the real thing. I don't think anybody watched it.
I never watched it.
I didn't either. And we're UFC guys. And
I never fucking watched it. Yeah.
Right. So apparently there's a lot of innuendo out there about him not doing very well financially right now. So
I'm hoping that this
would help your argument.
Yeah.
The thing is for me though, it's just his last 5 or 6 fights, he's looked like dog shit to me.
Yeah.
He doesn't go forward. Vicente Luque will go forward. Yeah. Guaranteed. And Tyron Woodley does not seem to do well in situations like that. Anytime somebody marches forward against Tyron Woodley, it usually doesn't go well for him, at least in the past 5 or 6 fights.
Yeah. So, I mean, look at Gilbert Burns when that happened.
Exactly.
Jeez. Yeah.
Talk about domination.
All right. We got the title fight.
I think I'm going to surprise some people. So I'm going to go ahead and defer to you on this one to go first.
Ngannou first round knockout. Hello. Okay. Now let's get real. Stipe is probably going to wrestle the shit out of Ngannou.
100%.
If Stipe can get out of round 1. Now let me explain this. I know, judging by the first fight, you're like, shut the fuck up. He threw 1,000 fists and a few of them landed. I get it. Since then, the man's technique has been so fucking sharp. Forget about the Rosenstruck fight when he was like just fucking throwing him to throw him. The man has a lot of great technique now, and I think he's learned a lot more. And I think that he has something up his sleeve. He's been working with Kamaru a lot. And I know you can't just learn wrestling in a year or so, but think about it. He's been on the shelf almost for about 3.5 years. He's had a couple fights, yes, but he's been sharpening his tools. He's been learning. And if you see just what Derek did to Curtis, that can easily happen to Stipe from a power shot like Ngannou. And I'm talking about the uppercut when he's rushing in. Now, granted, Stipe, yes, granted, Stipe is a lot smarter.
His shoulders, right?
Yes, snapped it back so hard. But Stipe is a lot smarter than that. Obviously, he's not going to, change levels and not, he's not going to let you see it coming, is what I'm saying.
He will
but
not.
In the mix of that, Stipe got hit a couple times, and Ngannou is even more powerful now. And I see Ngannou can get this done in the first round. That's what my heart says. My brain says Stipe is going to wrestle the fuck out of him for 5 rounds and keep him on the ground. Stipe might get a finish towards the end, maybe 4th round when Ngannou's tank is just done, wiped. But I'm going with Ngannou, 2nd round knockout.
Okay. Again, I think you're out of your mind. What's the evidence? Because I've been hearing this. I am absolutely stunned that Ngannou for a second time is the favorite in this fight.
That's weird to me.
Stipe
I'll agree.
Miocic have to do? What does he have to do to show everybody that A, he's clearly the greatest of all time at heavyweight? The only person you can argue about that with would be Randy Couture.
Yeah, or Velasquez, Kane, one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, but competition level, because I always take that into account. It's just like with the Khamzat Chimaev thing. Everybody was going crazy over it. He wasn't fighting anybody, man. Of course, he was dominating these guys.
Yeah.
As you start climbing up, he was going to fight Leon Edwards, and I felt like that was a trap, man.
Good fight.
It would have been a great fight. It would not have been Khamzat Chimaev marching forward and knocking him out in 13 seconds.
Right.
That was not going to happen against Leon Edwards because the competition level. So I always take that into account. Yes, I agree with you. I've been watching Francis and I love the guy. Yeah. What's not to love?
What's not to love?
Exactly.
How could you not love Francis Ngannou?
He's a big giant teddy bear that can
laugh is
literally
infectious.
take your head off.
Yes.
And he almost did that to Alistair Overeem. I mean, his head snapped straight back. And
one of the best knockouts you'll ever see.
Oh my God, man. It was incredible.
Besides Joaquin Buckley. That was one of the best knockouts I've ever seen.
That was insane. We've had a really good year of fights, but no, until I see somebody take Stipe out, I'm not buying in. And I have watched these videos of Francis training, and he has absolutely improved immensely. But Stipe is going to hit him in the waist. He's going to take him down over and over and over again. And Stipe is so nimble. And I don't think a lot of people realize how nimble he is. When you watch him, when he fought Cormier, especially the second time, he was so shifty in there.
Yep.
And Francis does not move that fast. He's got power. He does not have a tremendous amount of speed. Francis is going to have to connect in order. And yes, he did connect a little bit in the first fight. But has he improved that much to where he is going to be able, and the reality is that Stipe has already fought Francis. So he knows what to expect. His coaches know what to expect. Francis or his team has been putting out these training videos left and right. So they're watching them.
Yeah.
I don't see any evidence pointing that this is going to be any different whatsoever, other than maybe Francis lasts longer than the second round this time. Where I say you've lost your mind again is when you're talking fifth round. There's no way this is going 5 rounds either way.
No, I said fourth round. I did say fourth round because I know I fucking know.
Well,
there's
even
no fucking
fourth
way.
round.
But you know what? It could. It could.
I don't know, man. I don't think he's got that kind of gas tank.
I think you're going to be surprised with Francis. I think you're going to get. I think you're slightly downplaying Francis a little. I am I'm already half awake. I feel like I know what might happen, but I'm believing in that power. I'm believing in that power wholeheartedly. I'm believing in it.
The reality is, if Francis connects, it's over. It's a wrap.
Yep. And then please let's talk about. Well, just real quick. I mean, John Jones is going to fight who wins. Just think about that. Forget about, who's going to win. Think about, oh my God, what about the timeline for this? This is going to be amazing. I would watch either one. And I think John can take either one. Not easily with Stipe, but I think that he could win those fights easily.
He would. I think John Jones will win.
Yeah.
And I think he'll probably end up going on to be the greatest heavyweight of all time.
Yep.
He's already the greatest light heavyweight of all time.
Yep.
Arguably the greatest fighter of all time.
Yep.
And he will absolutely become the greatest heavyweight of all time. I can't see it going any other way.
Yeah.
But no, I all kidding aside, I just don't see anything changing from the first fight other than maybe it going into the third round.
Okay. That's fair.
Francis doesn't seem to have that kind of gas tank to me. And he carries a lot of lactic acid, because he's so damn big. And that's just human nature.
Physics.
It's
It just really
genetics and it's biology. Biology is not, you can't argue with biology. You just can't. And if you carry that kind of muscle mass, you can't go long distances. You're not built for long distances. You're built to knock people out.
Yep.
So I'm going third round submission, Stipe. TKO.
Okay.
TKO.
Okay.
Let me go TKO because I think it's going to be ground strikes is what's going to do it.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, there's the picks, ladies and gentlemen. We got 3 out of the 6? We got 3 out of 6 that are different. So that's great. I always like to see that.
Yes.
I always like to keep
a tally.
I like it. Yeah.
We're going to keep a tally. And when we do the next one, oh, hey, before we go, I got to show you guys something. DZAN's already seen this. I don't know if how well you're going to be able to see it. Yeah, there we go.
Bam, there it is. Yep.
30 is going to UFC 261.
Woo!
Yes, and I will be taking video and pictures and everything. And when we come back from 261 the next time, we're going to try to do this every Friday. And we'll, when we after I do that, I'll share some video and things like that on the channel. And I'll probably do that separately from this, so you guys can just enjoy that. But yeah, that weekend I'm gonna have to, and I'll get with DZAN on this. We'll probably have to try to somehow do it on Wednesday or Thursday, because I'm actually leaving on Friday to head up to Jacksonville. It's almost a 4-hour drive, so
yeah.
We're gonna have to leave a little earlier on Friday to get settled in. And
I get you my whole schedule. We can figure that shit out. We can work it out, work it around.
We'll figure something out. But at any rate, those are our picks for UFC 260. We will be back next week with new topics, and which is how this thing will go all of the time. And I got to tell you, I'll speak for myself, but this was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fucking fun.
Yeah.
And we got to talk about music next time. That's got to be one of the.
Hey, real quick, before we go, DZAN has some breaking news.
Oh God. I mean, if you guys don't already fucking know, NF just dropped his album last night, and there are some features. Now I've already listened to one of them. The feature with Hobson. Fucking fantastic song. If you haven't heard it yet, you need to fucking listen to it. It is insane. It's one of those features that if you're an NF fan for a long time, you've been waiting for this feature. It happened, and it's what you think it is. It's fantastic. He's got a song in there with Tech-9 I have not fucking heard yet, and I'm so fucking excited because NF, he doesn't cuss or anything like that, and he doesn't also do much features, so to have these kind of features with these kind of people, and they're doing it in his kind of in his arena,
right?
It was amazing to see with Hobson, and I'm even more excited to see and hear the song with Tech and just the whole album. He's a genius, and I can't wait. And if you get to listen to it, we'll talk about that and obviously the results of 260. But I want to get into some music, man.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We're going to get into music and not just rap and hip hop. I'm going to bring some other things from my world a little bit too. But I am versed enough in rap and hip hop that I can converse fairly intelligently with DZAN on this. And DZAN and I were talking about this before we even started recording, but NF is one of those people that I just never saw coming. Yeah. And that's happened a lot to me because I didn't know about a lot of these guys. But when I first did NF, I was thinking to myself, who the fuck is this guy? And then another one is Hobson. Hobson's another one. Never even knew who he was. Nipsey Hussle, God rest his soul. Never knew who he was. A lot of these Tech-9 is another one. Never heard of Tech-9. I fell in love instantly with Tech-9. Michael, I owe you for that one. Michael he's a YouTuber, or he's on my YouTube channel, and he's a patron. He is the one that really got me started on Tech-9, and I have been so thankful to Michael for that ever since, because I absolutely love Tech-9. He's so unique.
Fucking A, so unique.
But
he can do everything.
he can do anything, and I swear he could do metal. He kind of already done, really.
Yeah.
But he could go in any direction, man. He is so multifaceted. It's amazing. But I could go on and on. But there's so many people that I had never heard of before I got into this about 3 years ago, I'd say. And absolutely 100% NF is one of those people, man. So I am really stoked about checking that out. However, I'm probably going to have to do one of those on my own, because I have so many PayPals lined up this weekend.
Oh yeah, no
I
shit.
still have some from last weekend I haven't got to yet. So I am absolutely buried in videos content that I've got to get up. But I got to hear it at the same time. I almost wish you wouldn't have told me, because I absolutely have to check the Tech 9 song out.
I had to. As soon as I went to YouTube this morning and I saw it, fucking A, I got to tell Dirty. Oh my God. Cause I wasn't sure. And I don't remember.
What about Cole?
Oh yeah,
I've been hearing this for a month now. Cole's supposed to drop something any minute. I've yet to hear about that. I'm also a huge J. Cole fan.
Yeah, J. Cole is up there.
So talented, man. The guy is so talented. But yeah, so at any rate, I don't know if I'm gonna be a holdout on the Tech 9 NF song. I think I might have to dig in that on my own. And I never do that, you guys. I never do that. But since he's told me that, I can't get it out of my head. So
yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to hear it. I'm very excited for that album. But yeah.
Or wait a minute. Okay, so oh boy, I don't even know how to say this, because if I tell you, you're gonna know, and I'm trying to keep this a surprise. There's something that's gonna happen this week. Okay.
Tell me.
I'm not gonna tell you. But there's something that's happening this week, and next weekend is Full Length Friday on my Patreon channel, or Full Length Weekend, excuse me. And so there's something happening this week that I was going to do in place of a poll, and it's so big that it would replace a poll, and I think everybody would be happy that I replaced the poll with what I want to do. The problem is whether I have the time to do it or not. But now you're throwing this at me.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm almost picking up what you're dropping down. I feel like you're going, and I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say it out loud. I'm not going to say it out loud, but I feel like I know what it is. And I'm really excited if it is what I think it is, from who I think it is, which is who I love, who I think it is. I think you should do that.
Yeah. I know. Damn.
Yeah. You should do that. But maybe, sprinkle in a couple songs from this album here and there, and in what you would call your spare time, the 5 minutes you get a day.
That's about right, man. That's about right. Fuck.
Yeah, I know it's hard, brother. I know it's hard. It's hard. But whatever you got cooking, you cook that shit.
Okay.
And we're good. We're good.
Right on. All right, everybody. That's our show for today. And I hope you enjoyed it. Again, please hit the subscribe button and the like button and comment. YouTube is stickler. They're a stickler for these things, and if we can start trending a little bit, YouTube's algorithm takes over and starts pumping us up a little bit. So
yeah, especially hard when videos are longer than 10 minutes. So share it around with people who have the same interest, who you think would like this shit. Let's do it.
Especially if it's music or UFC. Share it, man, because we're going to be talking a lot about that stuff. Really good stuff, too. So, all right, everybody, that's it.
Peace out.
Have a good day. Peace.